We are joined by Charles Marino, former Homeland Security Department advisor. Charles, we've talked about this story so many times. Right now, Philadelphia is next on the sanctuary city list, as Dre was talking about there. But why do you think Governor Abbott is focusing on the northeastern part of the U.S. with this campaign?
Yeah, Adrienne, good question. I think over time, we're going to see it spread around the country to other sanctuary cities. Why he's focused on the East Coast right now, I'm not sure, but I think that's going to spread throughout the country. You know, right now, what we're seeing here is we've seen the federal government, who has primary responsibilities for border security and immigration enforcement, all but abandon their responsibility. And that's what's causing this influx of illegal migrants. And what's happening now is it's leaving it to the states to decide. And primarily, it's the sanctuary cities, which we've discussed previously, that are going to take the majority of the hit on the relocation for the migrants. And let's not forget, too, that the federal government was in the business of busing and flying these illegal migrants to sanctuary cities, primarily located in the Northeast as well.
Will Philadelphia then, you think, bus migrants into the suburbs or outside area of the downtown region, just like we saw in Chicago?
Yeah, you know, it's possible. We're seeing right now with the three primary cities, New York, D.C., and Chicago, that have taken the numbers so far. What we're seeing is kind of a tale of three different stories. And that is, we've got New York kind of rolling out the red carpet. They've got their administration meeting each bus of illegal migrants upon arrival. You've got D.C. with Mayor Muriel Bowser, who filed not one, but two requests for National Guard assistance and has ruled this a humanitarian crisis. And now we've got Lori Lightfoot coming into play in Chicago and saying, hey, we've got enough here. We need to kind of spread the migrants throughout the state. I'm sure she's working with the governor, and they made that decision to move the migrants to the suburbs. So I think everything is in fair play here for each of these states. And unfortunately, with the federal government not involved in any type of follow-up assistance with each of these states, it's going to be a state-by-state strategy. And what it's going to lead to, Adrienne, is it's going to lead to a continuation of the politics at the expense of the migrants and the American public and the finger pointing. And I think it's going to cause the Democratic Party to start to question the White House and say, what are we doing here? And where's the assistance to handle this?
I have a statement from, or at least a portion of a statement from an op-ed, a Philadelphia committee person writing, to replace the thousands of workers the city has lost in recent years, the mayor should issue a national call for new arrivals to settle in Philadelphia. What do you make of this idea that cities need workers so bad that they would hire those who've just freshly arrived here now?
Yeah, you know, this is part of the enticement that's been going on. We said when the border's not enforced and immigration laws aren't enforced, it serves as enticement, as a pull factor, if you will, from around the globe to entice people to come and violate the immigration laws of the country. Look, I'm sure there is still a continuing shortage of workers. I see it every day in the community in which I live in. You know, restaurants are having a hard time staffing. We've heard the stories over and over again. But at the end of the day, we need to have a legal process in place, because what's going on right now is there's a lack of overall structure. And that lack of overall structure is endangering the lives of these legal migrants as they're being pulled to make these dangerous journeys. We're seeing it in terms of the threat to our national security, the increase in drugs, not knowing who's coming across the border. So, you know, all we need is another enticement factor here to just continue to increase these numbers. And I don't see this going away anytime soon. With the Biden administration is slated to surpass over 5 million illegal migrants at the end of its first term.
And I have a question. We are not seeing a slowdown in the number of people crossing over, but we also haven't seen any kind of intervention from Congress. I mean, we've talked about what Governor Abbott is doing has been done throughout the years through different charitable groups, just not at this level. But it doesn't appear that what he's doing is illegal, correct?
Well, it's not. And what it's done is, I think if you were to speak to the governors of Arizona and Texas, they don't want to be in this business. They know that this is a federal responsibility. So they're certainly going above and beyond right now because the federal government isn't there to assist. But, you bring up a good point, Adrienne. That is, where is Congress? I think we're all in agreement that the immigration system in the United States is due for a major overhaul. And Congress has not acted. And now we've seen two recent administrations, with the previous administration of former President Trump and now the Biden administration. Two extremes: Trump heavy on enforcement, relying on that enforcement as a deterrent, and Biden with the enticement, not enforcing the laws as much as he likely should. And on either one of those, Congress has failed to act. So if neither is requiring them to step in and say, you know what, we need to fix this immigration system once and for all, then I don't think anything will. And that's a big part of the problem.
Charles Marino, thanks so much for being with us as always.
Thanks, Adrienne.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.